I'm going to call this meeting to order at 2 o'clock. Natalie, could you get land acknowledgement, please?
Associated Students Incorporated at Sacramento State would like to take a moment to give honor and respect to the ancestors and to the diverse indigenous people connected to this territory on which we meet. The original stewards on this land belong to Nishnawin, Patwin, and Miwok Native Americans. Keep them in your mind, carry them in your hearts, and we ask that you take a moment to consider your ancestors and your relationship to the land we are on. Thank you.
Thank you. And then just as a reminder, speak into the mic. And then Salma, can we get the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Please stand.
Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Salma, is there a moment of silence? No. Thank you. Now we're going to be moving forward to roll call. Lisa, could I please get roll call?
Thank you. Pacheco.
Present.
De La Garza Garcia.
Here.
Budani.
Here.
Estrella.
Present.
Andrade Dominguez.
Present.
Ayun Galan.
Present.
Nick Dow.
Here.
Neha Diaz.
Here.
Henschel.
Here.
Campbell.
Here.
Beltran.
Here.
Bolas.
Here.
Maria.
Here.
Babar.
Here.
Hebert.
Present.
Curry. Gallardo.
Here.
Montalvo.
Here.
Lenmark.
Here.
Guerrero.
Present.
Gill.
Here.
Reyes.
Here.
Danine Walters.
Here.
Thank you. Dalton. Rocha.
Here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now moving forward, we're going to go to the approval of minutes of 9/28/2022 board meeting and 10/05/2022 working board meeting. Are there any corrections on these minutes? I'm sorry, are there any corrections on the 9/28/2022 board meeting minutes? Okay, seeing. Okay, if there's no objections, they're approved as distributed. Okay, now for 10/05/2022 working board meeting, is there any corrections? Okay, seeing none. Without objections, they're approved as distributed. And I'm going to announce that we have quorum present today. All right, now we're going to be moving forward to public comment. Members of the audience may address the board on any item within the jurisdiction of the board on any agenda item. If you wish to address the board, please sign the speaker identification sheet. When you're called upon to speak, step forward to the podium and state your name and major clearly for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes and overall time is 15 minutes. Those wishing to speak on a non-agenda item will be called upon at the beginning of the meeting. Those wishing to speak for or against an agenda item will be called upon after the item has been officially introduced to the board. Every agenda item will be open for public comment before the board takes formal action on the item. At this time, if you have a public comment, please walk to the podium, sign the sheet, and identify yourself. Can I have you sign the...
Oh, I did already.
Okay,
I thought
cool.
this was going to be like the sign-up sheet and some gets called up. But
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead and state your name and what organization you're from.
my name is Danny Therapul. I'm a senior. I'm an econ major. I'm just here to speak on a club that I started this semester called Lavender Leaders. One thing I have been really passionate about is building leadership in LGBTQ areas. I felt that there was a need to, and so starting this club, we currently now have 18 members who are excited and interested in advocating for LGBTQ issues, and I felt this was the perfect opportunity to come and address the ASI on collaborative efforts. One thing that we are trying to do this semester, or may have to postpone to next semester since it's such short notice, is doing a Pride Summit, where the club members discuss what the priorities are for what we want to advocate for, whether that be school policies, state or federal, local policies, and things like that. One area that we want to introduce into the Pride Summit, though, is leadership training and to build those kind of skills. And one of those skills is Robert's Rules of Order. Not many people know how to use it. I have experience with it, but this is only my last semester here at Sac State, so I can't continue on and help continuously train the members that we have right now. So hoping that you start the relationship with ASI, build that leadership. You can do feeder program into the committees here on campus for the ASI as well. But we desperately need to have those resources for leadership training and a parliamentarian to come train our members on Robert's Rules of Order. And so that's why I came here to ask to consider future agenda items, any kind of budget approvals for or dedicated staff or dedicated members on the board to come to our meetings, to work with our officers, and just build that relationship and leadership opportunities. Behind me is Zachary E.B. He is our current president, and so we are hoping that this starting today we can have build that relationship and just do what we can to help move LGBTQIA+ policies forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any more public comment? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move forward to consent calendar. Does anybody want to move? Gina?
I'd like to be recognized by the chair.
Gina is here.
Yes. Oh, got it.
Thank you. Consent calendar. Does anything need to be moved to consent?
No, we're going to move to consent.
No, I just, they're in consent, right? Like these 3 items are gonna go to consent calendar. Do you want to read them?
No, it's just some items that we need to pull out.
Okay, does anybody have something that they want to pull out of consent? Okay, I'm sorry. We're going to read the items that are in consent, which are 2022, 23, 10, 29, Budani, Estrella Pacheco, Financial Committee appointments.
And I don't say that.
And then there's also 2022, 23, 10, 31, Estrella Pacheco, recommendation to the president for university committee appointments. And then we have 2022, 23, 10, 32, De La Garza Garcia, Estrella Pacheco, internal committee appointments. If there is no objections, the items will be moved to consent and adopted. Okay, seeing none, we're going to be moving forward to new business. Okay, first we have 2022, 23, 10, 30, Estrella Pacheco, University Committee appointments. Is there any discussion? No. That item is being withdrawn, I'm sorry. If there are no objections, that item is withdrawn. All right, next we're going to be moving forward to 2022, 23, 1033, Andrade Dominguez, Estrella Pacheco, Faculty Senate Committee appointments. Is there a motion? Okay, that's actually being withdrawn as well. If there are no objections, the item will be withdrawn. Okay, seeing none, we're gonna move forward to the next item, which is 2022-23-10-34, Andrea Dominguez, Teo Pacheco, Grade Appeal Panel Appointment, which is also withdrawn. If there are no objections, we will withdraw the item. Okay, seeing none, the item has been withdrawn. Next, we have 2022-23-10-35, Budani, Operating Rule Change 400.4, Travel Funds. Can I have a motion? Jervisha?
I move to approve 2022-23-10-35 Wadani Operating Rule Change 400.4 Travel Fund.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Jervisha?
As discussed in the last working board meeting, I'm just going to run through this real quick. I am changing small parts of National Travel Fund and National Championship Fund to reflect the changes for DOC, as well as to make it more viewpoint neutral. The first change is all the receipts from reimbursement must be submitted no later than June 1 before they used to follow the DOC guidelines, DOC deadlines, which does not exist anymore. The second is adding a little note below all the states where it just says Associated Students Inc. will be abiding by the prohibited travel ban set forth under California Government Code, just to make sure that they know every time it gets updated, you cannot travel to a state that is banned under that California Government Code. The same things have been reflected for the National Transportation Funding. All the receipts for reimbursement must be submitted no later than June 1st. Instead of following the DOC deadlines, which don't exist anymore. For allocation of funds, the funds will be allocated on first come, first served basis. Funding decisions will be done in viewpoint neutral. Before, they used to be done by our Director of Finance and Administration and me, the VPF, but now it will be just done on a viewpoint neutral manner and will not be based on organization's point of view. Amounts allocated will depend on basis, amounts allocated, thank you. I will slow down now. Amounts allocated will depend on basis of the travel destination and destination time. Also, a little note added below the locations and states where it says Associated Students Incorporated will be abiding by the prohibited travel ban set forth under California Government Code, just to make sure that they know every time they're applying, if there is another state added under the government code, they will be reimbursed for that. The impact of the legislation is that it removes barriers, just like DOC fund changes removed barriers, and allowing easier access for monies to be allocated for National Travel Fund and National Championship Fund, but there is no financial impact. And that's about it.
Thank you. Are there any questions or discussions on this item? Okay, we're going to be moving forward to a vote. All in favor of 2022-23-10-35 Budani Operating Rule Change to 400.4 Travel Funds, please raise your hand. Okay, you may lower your hand. All opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, seeing none, the item has been adopted unanimously. Next, we're going to be moving forward to 2022-23-10-36 Udani, Nigdao, Beltran, Oraya. I apologize, I'm going to get that. Allocation of strategic priority funding 1.3.1, explore the opportunity to provide a matching student and entrepreneur growth grant. Can I get a motion? AZ?
I move to approve strategic priority 1.3.1, explore the opportunity to provide a matching student entrepreneur growth grant.
Second.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded. Are there any discussions? Dervisha?
So after a really fruitful discussion during the last working board meeting, we have gone ahead and made several changes after talking to Gina, Mark, Sandra, and Lisa, just to make sure we are right on all the aspects. We have added the basic award requirements, which are similar to the ASI scholarships, just to make sure they are awarded to Sacramento State students and they meet the general requirements. We have also changed this grant to an award for a lot of different purposes. Thank you, Gina, for helping us navigate through this. We would have been lost without you. Also, Mark, thank you. So the timeline is almost the same. I have added a date, like recommended by Sandra. On February 20th, the recipients will be notified and will be given an option to be connected with the Executive Director of Carlson Center. I am just going to quickly go through the whole process. There will be 2 awards in the amount of $500 each, which would be distributed by a panel made up of members from the Carlson Center and ASI. Each partner would donate 50% of the award monies. Panel will consist of 1 ASI Executive Board member, 1 ASI Director of Carlson Center, and 1 student representative from the Carlson Center. I also added that ASI Director of Finance and Administration will serve as an advisor to the panel, just to make sure that Mark is helping us through every single step since we're navigating this for the first time. The timeline is December 5, application proceed award. Rubric finalized by the panel. Applications open on December 19th. Application closed on January 27. January 30 to February 3, open review of applications by the panel. February 13 to 17, interview of candidates held by the panel. February 20, recipients notified and connected with Executive Director of Carlson Center. And by May 5th, presentations given by SEED award recipients to ASI Board of Directors. I have replaced every single place where it says grant to award, just to make sure that you're in the clear. And that's about it. Now, I would pass it on to AZ if he has to add anything else.
Thank you. AZ?
Just to add to the additions, the switch in the grant to the award was fruitful, because I think you have to pay tax as a student on a $600 award, but because it's a $500 award, the student will actually not get taxed if they receive the award. So it's a huge benefit on that end, and then we don't have to deal with the logistics of having to deal with financially, brought up at the last working board meeting, where they might hold the funds or things like that. It'll be cut from the ASI office if I am correct. So that removes a lot of barriers. I was able to speak to the executive assistant at the Carlson Center, Arlene, and had a good conversation. Cameron's currently traveling. We'll be back till the 18th, but I have texted him and I've looped him in on everything. So before he left, we determined the $500 amount and talked about how the Carlson Center will send $500 over to us, and then ASI will then cut the check to 2 students. So in terms of logistics, ASI is pretty much in control of the finances, but the Carlson Center takes a lot more load when it comes to doing the follow-up of making sure the student or recipient of the award is connected to a mentor, depending on what venture they want to move forward. So those are all my updates currently. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. Is there any other discussions on questions on this item? Z?
So have y'all already set up a requirement, I guess, paper or form for how the students are going to be able to apply for this award?
Jarisha? So as you can see, the first step is application for SEED award and rubric will be finalized by the panel. We are waiting for this legislation to pass so we can gather the committee, and then we're going to start forming the application. That's the first step in the process.
Gina?
I appreciate the change to the award. I know that seems like semantics, but it's really important for the way we report to financial aid and for taxability and certain things that are very nuanced. So I thank you for hearing that and understanding why I think it was a better move to make it an award. I did note, though, that it still reads on our agenda, and maybe the titling of the legislation, that it's still called a grant. And I don't know what the process is to make that change, since it was posted in such a manner, what the rules are around that from the Goro Romero Act.
Yes. Jarisha?
So in the purpose, I also written that we would like to change the name. If I'm not wrong, the priorities is a living document, and we change it as we move forward with the priority, as the people who are on the priority seem it okay for it to move forward. So I did say that we want to change the name of SEG to SEED on there. So hopefully, once this passes, we'll just update the priority list. If I'm not wrong, if Sandra or Lisa can talk about it.
That would be something that we do at mid-year, right? Where we kind of revise that. Sandra?
So, Trivicia's correct. The strategic goals that you created at retreat are, in a way, considered a living document. So I think that including it in legislation and reading it here formally should be sufficient at this time.
And then we change it at mid-year? Or just-
Oh yeah, when you go into the document to make the updates. But you're going to be constantly making updates to the goals document, so that can happen as soon as, whenever. Because it is, I don't know if you or some have plans in the future of working boards to bring the document up and do the updates, and when you're doing updates, that happens throughout the year.
Excuse me, okay. Awesome. Do we have any other questions or discussions on this item? Okay, seeing none, we're going to be moving forward to a vote. All in favor of 2022-23-1036, Budani, Nigdal, Beltran, Baraya, allocation of strategic priority funding for 1.3.1, explore the opportunity to provide a matching student entrepreneur growth grant. Please raise your hand. Okay, you may lower your hand. All opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, the item has been adopted unanimously. The next item, we have 2022-23-1037, Pacheco, Bulos, Ayubkuan, resolution in solidarity with Iranian community. Is there a motion? Veronica?
I move to approve 2022-23-1037 Pacheco Bolis Ayubkulan, resolution in solidarity with the Iranian community.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Veronica? Okay, go ahead. Can I read it? So we wrote this resolution in solidarity with the Iranian community, whereas Associated Students Incorporated at California State University, Sacramento, ASCSUS, is the sole representative voice for more than 31,000 students at Sacramento State, and whereas it is the duty and focus of ASCSUS to represent and support our students and advocate for policies that would benefit the student body, and whereas California State University, Sacramento supports Iranian students through its partnerships with the Iranian and Middle Eastern Center on campus, and whereas the Sacramento region is home to over 15,000 Iranian people, and whereas the United States is the most popular destination for Iranian immigrants, and California is home to approximately 54% of them, and whereas over 75 protesters have been killed by the Iranian government, and be it resolved, ASCSUS stands in solidarity with the Iranian students, faculty, staff, and community during this horrific time. And be it resolved, we mourn the lives lost during the Iranian protests and result of the death of Masa Amini. And be it resolved, we condemn the Iranian government for their lack of protection and oppression of their Iranian citizens. And be it resolved, ASCSUS calls on the Sacramento State community to be supportive and informed of the progressive horrors in the Iranian nation state. And finally, be it resolved that this resolution is distributed to the Sacramento State President Robert S. Nelson, Interim Vice President of Academic Affairs and Provost Carlos Navarez, Vice President of Student Affairs Ed Mills, Faculty Senate Chair Adam Rex, Iranian and Middle Eastern Studies Center Director Sahar Razavi, California State Student Association President Krishan Malhotra, all remaining 22 Associated Students Presidents, and the California State University Interim Chancellor Jolene Kester. And if the chair allows it, I would want to pass it over to Adderall, as he is the only Iranian
member on the board of directors.
Thank you.
Hi. Sorry.
Adderall.
Hi. I just wanted to say that this is really great that we are doing this, and I am proud to be an Iranian Assyrian to be on the board and to represent the Iranian community and also the Assyrian community and also the Middle Eastern community. It's a great feeling that we were able to write a resolution, so shout out to Salma and Veronica. As someone that was born and raised there, I will say that right now it's currently hard to get in contact with anyone in Iran, and I have very close family members in there. So this just means a lot to have a support for Iranian students that also are going through the same thing too, but also to have a support for our Iranian faculty members, because if I can't reach my family members, I'm gonna assume that it's the same for them as well, just because it's not for a specific family that the internet is cut down, it's for everyone. So it's great, and I feel honored to be able to be sitting here with a resolution hopefully passing. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussions or questions? Gina?
I move to amend the resolution.
Okay, can you explain why?
Yes, I'd like to add Dr. Mia Settles Tidwell, Vice President of Inclusive Excellence, after Dr. Ed Mills, just past the semicolon after Dr. Ed Mills.
Okay, can I, it is moved and seconded to amend the resolution and add Mia Settles Tidwell, right after Vice President of Student Affairs, Ed Mills. Any discussion on that amendment? Gina?
Dr. Settles Tidwell really is very in tune with our cultural diversity and other diversity issues of the university, and I think she would be would appreciate being included in the resolved list to be sent the resolution.
Okay, Sama?
I'd like to apologize. That was my bad. I was being a student yesterday, had to write a paper. It happens. We're all students, it's okay. But I really appreciate the reminder because now we can do it.
Is there any other discussions or questions on that amendment? Okay, we're gonna vote on that amendment right now. So all in favor to add Dr. Mia Settles Tidwell after Vice President of Student Affairs Ed Mills, please raise your hand. Okay, lower your hand. All opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, seeing none, we will be adding that.
Passes.
The amendment passes. Now we're gonna move to a vote on the resolution. All in, the amended resolution, excuse me. All in favor of 2022-23-1037 Pacheco Bolis Ayugulan resolution in solidarity with Iranian community.
Do I have to add with the amendment? Or no? No.
Please raise your hand. Okay, you may lower your hand. All opposed? Okay, seeing none, the motion has been approved unanimously. Okay, now we're going to move forward to ASI executive officers and ex officio and advisor reports. Okay, so for our first report, we have our president, Sama Pacheco. Or Sama? Sorry, time. My bad, hold on. Sorry. Okay, once you begin to speak, your time will begin.
Can I whisper so my time doesn't go? Hi everyone. Hi Hornets, those on the recording that are watching after this, and those in the audience, thank you so much for being present. I really appreciate seeing everyone in the audience. There's my nice message. So those are my office hours, my contact information, nice message. Strategic priority update. We had the Jamba Juice sponsorship go through our last legislative cycle, and the event was on Monday. It was good. The Jamba Juice finished. We're all set. It's really, really hard to plan events. So I'm just going to put it out there for all of those working on strategic priorities that involve event planning. There's a lot of moving pieces, so shout out to Lisa Dalton for all of your help. And then in office hours, those are my favorite meetings. They're not all listed because sometimes students come without notifying me prior. It's a lot of fun to hear from students and to hear about the ideas that they have and also other projects that they would like to incorporate in ASI. So that was really awesome. Also, students from other campuses are also meeting with me, which I think is interesting. And then, yeah, that's always cool. Then my long list of ASI meetings. Lots of things in there. Yeah, we all had the COSIN meeting yesterday, which I think went so well. So thank you to everyone who was there and was representing the student body. It is always a pleasure to see how you all advocate for things that we need and need to discuss. Awesome. And then committees. Something that amazing happened at the foundation board meeting is we got an amazing gift from Gary Mansell. He donated $10,000 to our ASI food pantry, which was amazing. I'm beyond grateful for the foundation board and all of their support and help. Lobby Corps is up and running. We're really, really excited. So students that are watching this, please join Lobby Corps. We need more students, always, and we're really excited for what's to come later. Some campus events. I moderated the Voting Rights Town Hall, which was an amazing experience. And if you have the ability to meet the Secretary of State, she is so, so nice.
30 seconds.
And then ASI presentations. I did a presentation with Natalie, and we did a tour. Wow, Natalie is gifted in presentations about ASI. So if you need any help or support, go to Natalie. I was like, you take it, you're good. I will support you. So it was really amazing. There was a lot of students that had never known what ASI was, and so to see their eyes kind of light up was awesome.
Thank you. Is there any questions for Salma? Adderall?
Is there anything else you would like to add?
Sure. Salma?
The AVP Budget and Planning Search Committee has concluded, which is awesome. That was a lot of fun, and it was an amazing group to work with. We also got the chance to be invited to the IRT VP position, which was amazing, and I love that our university includes us in the conversations and appreciates our feedback. And I think that is everything I'd like to highlight in my board report.
Thank you. We have 30 seconds for maybe another question, but maybe you can just see Selma afterwards and ask her your question. Okay. The next board report, we have Jervisha Budani, Vice President of Finance. Oh. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be next, so it's me.
You can start.
Okay, so the notes of the Hornets is at the bottom. I hope you guys are able to read it. A couple of things that I want to highlight. One specifically that was a lot of fun. Shout out to Lexa for sending the sign up link genius for all the pop-up pantries, because KSSU was there and Aaron so kindly allowed me to MC, and that's just I just love that. I think it's so much fun. And honestly, I was there longer than I needed to be because of the emceeing, but it was fun. That's something that you board members were able to do. If you want to MC, and I'll count that as an event, and you're tabling. I mean, that was just a lot of fun. And you're doing something different. Another thing is the Anchor Project. So this Anchor Initiative project is something that Salma, a couple of members from Peak Adventures, and myself have been trying to get going pretty fast. We would love for other board members to help us. Like Sam always mentions, we're students, but it's a lot. It's a lot, but this project is going to be wonderful for Anchor University because we are going to be reaching out to high schools in the Sacramento community, and they're going to be coming to our campus. We're going to host them at the little climbing range. I forget what it's called. Not the obstacle course. That's not what it's called. The Challenge Center. Challenge Center. Thank you. Challenge Center. So that's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to make this an event for them, and that's just again aiding in the Anchor University. Another thing is for the ASI Memorial. I have my 2 students and I have my graduate director helping me in that. So I'm looking forward to reading all those scholarship essays. And lastly, the recruitment for students. As you can see, it was slow, but now it's picking up. I'm not only taking, again, the advice that Natalie gave me, but I am also reaching out to the department chairs and sending out kind of not a department-wide email, but everybody's email is on there. So what I have done is, email the department chairs and then professors. Professors are very good at reaching back, and they've all been really excited because they don't know about this. And this is like a very easy volunteer opportunity for students to participate in, as opposed to finding the opportunities themselves, which they can also do, but this is at their reach. So I'm just feeling very confident. It's been very successful. I mean, I'm emailing all departments possible, and it's taken a while, and that's basically what my hours have been consisting of. And then calling students, like Natalie had recommended, that has also been wonderful. The students are happy to talk to us, even on the phone. So that's been pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions for me? Chris?
Could you elaborate on what the Anchor Project is, what it is?
Yeah, and I'll do this as briefly as possible, and I might tune in Selma too, but pretty much there was, can't quote the money because I don't remember, there's just so many numbers, but there was a certain amount of money that is allocated for Anchor University. And so what we're going to do, like I said, is we're going to host students from the high schools, from, what is it, Selma? Is it Title I schools. We're hosting them, kind of getting them acquainted to, our campus, and maybe if they have never, done any of the activities over at the Challenge Center, they're going to get the opportunity to do that. So it's more, us connecting, making those early connections with the students, and Peak has just been amazing at working with Selma has been awesome as well. Does that answer your question? I can definitely talk to you more about it, on the site too. Yes. Anything else? Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Now our next report is Stravisha, Vice President of Finance.
Sorry, I forgot about mine.
Okay, I'm going to keep this really quick and short. My note is right there, but I said in conclusion, I want to reiterate that it's okay to not be okay, and we as your representatives are here for you if you want to talk and if you need help. Please feel free to contact me or any other ASI board members, and we will try our best to help you. And also good luck on midterms, don't sweat it, drink a lot of water. For internal committee updates, the committee met on October 4th and had a presentation from the CEO. We also discussed application changes for student employment grant and picked a vice chair. Congratulations, AZ. That's the picture of the committee, very full. ASI Scholarship Committee, there is no meetings. The scholarships are open right now. Please apply. The scholarships are due on October 21st at 5 p.m. For university committees, the UEI board met, but I couldn't attend the first meeting. But I did talk to Jim and debriefed about what happened in the meeting, and the next meeting is scheduled for December 1st. The SFAC, or Student Fee Advisory Committee, there's a few dates that have been scheduled by Jeannie just in case we receive any any proposals. For review, Campus Grants Program Committee, I'm on the committee with Sandra. We had a doodle poll which was sent, and we are set to meet in November. For my events, some of the things that I want to highlight, well, just the calendar. The doc workshop was on the 29th of September. I hold a lot of meetings just in general about the SEED grant and my office hours, the board meetings. I am part of the College of Business Teen Search Committee. I did attend the CSSA plenary meeting on Saturday. It was wonderful, especially the first part when you actually go and talk to people and it's not just you looking at them talking. It was fun because there was like literally all of us Sac State students representing like all the board members, and we one by one were like, "Hi, we're from Sac State," and they're like, "Wow, there's everyone here." I also tabled with OGA at Civic Resource Fair yesterday. And then for events, I have attended a lot of events. I did put a picture of me, Tej, Sachi, and Salma at our Navratri celebration. I don't know, Salma was dancing pretty good. She got a hang of it. Me, Tej, and Sachi tried our best to teach her. It was really fun. For presentation, you can check it out. For office hours, you can also check it out. I just want to say the College of Business Teen Search Committee is amazing. I get to know so many people in department chairs that usually I see in the class, and it's just kind of weird, but also amazing at the same time. 2 of my priorities are already done, and the other ones, there's updates right there if you want to check it out. The budget remaining for strategic priorities on there. There's been 49 clubs that have been awarded the doc money, and the budget remaining of doc is also at the end.
Does anybody have any questions for Dravisha? Alexa.
Dravisha, is there anything else that you would like to add to your board report?
Dravisha?
Yeah, so those are the 49 clubs at the end that have already been have been given the doc money, and that's the budget remaining as of the last update that was given to me. Apart from that, if I can just talk about the priorities, the one that is already done is the Basic Needs Resource Fair. So she did an amazing job, and it was a great turnout. Everyone who came out for support, thank you so much, especially Veronica. You helped a lot. And also the CSSA one, the all board one, is also completed. I am trying my best to complete all of them as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Rob?
Dravisha, can you send the list of the 49 so that we can look at them? Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, and then and then we can send you also a link to the board report because she has them listed on there.
Great.
Awesome. Okay, now our next report we have Lex Estrella, Vice President of University Affairs. This one was late, so it's going to be a little bit short. So was it? 1.5. Perfect. So I would like to quickly read my special note to the Hornets. So hello Hornets, midterms have already started, so please make sure you are taking care of yourself. Remember why you decided to come to college and don't lose that sense of inspiration. And then also for those who are AB 540 and undocumented folks or DACA recipients, I know that the DACA ruling is still up in the air. We don't deserve this, and please know that I am very proud to be an undocumented student, and I stand with all of my fellow dreamers and know that, the fight still goes on, and we won't stop until we hear something that we, is fair and that we deserve. And if you ever need to talk or anything, please don't hesitate to come to myself or Sabdir Mejia, who is also an AB 540 student, or any person on the board. And then as well, moving forward to the committees that I sit on, for the Wellness, Safety, Sexual Assault Awareness Committee, we are planning an event, hopefully to get it done in November. And then I had a couple meetings as well, so you can look at that. But the main thing is that we are going to be planning an event and then working on a strategic priority.
You got like 10 seconds.
And then to add on, I have already started working on the 1.1 Support Dreamer Student Incentives Grant and College Corps, and I will be meeting with Eric Ramirez and Kim Gomez tomorrow, as well with Sabdiel Mejia.
That's time. And then you got 30 seconds for the question. Okay. Right, because that was a minute for the question. 30 seconds for the question.
Does anybody have any questions for Lexa? Veronica?
Is there anything you'd like to add?
Alexa?
Yeah, so I also met with Tom Carroll along with Natalie Andrade to discuss like the possible changes for the CARES website. And I'm really excited to be working on the strategic priorities as well as like meeting with students. I've mainly been meeting with students and making sure that they get done their committee form because sometimes they have issues with this. So I'll be appointing a lot of students next time around. And for the Wellness Safety Assault Committee, we'll be changing the name and adding a lot of students.
Awesome, thank you. Any other questions? You guys can see Alexa after the board meeting or during her office hours or whenever she's available. Our next board report, we have Natalie Andrade Dominguez, Vice President of Academic Affairs.
Hello. No.
Hello? Okay. Hello, everyone in the audience, constituents. I'm glad to be here. My office hours and contact information and note is listed in my board report. There is a picture of the first Student Academic Senate meeting, which is a huge success. Very excited about that one. Internal committee updates. Student Academic Senate met on September 23rd. 21 students attended the first meeting. We all introduced ourselves and got to know each other, went over rules and expectations and other conversations related on how the committee would be. And then we ended up talking about possible issues we'd like to address within the Senate. And then we had our second meeting on the 7th and talked about the AB 928 bill that Faculty Senate is focusing on right now. University committee updates. I sit on Faculty Senate Executive, which meets every Tuesday from 3 to 5. Faculty Senate Exec works to prepare and condense information for Faculty Senate. And our main focus for both committees have just been on AB 928. And for those of you who are a little bit confused, I wrote a quick description of what AB 928 is. And if you'd like to discuss more about it, you can come up to me. We can talk about it later. For strategic priority updates, 2.2.2 and 3.3.3 are going really well. I emailed the director of IRT, Mark Hendricks, along with the board of directors who are on that priority. I talked to Mark and he already filled an official request to put these links on the Sac State portal. I'm actually meeting with them today, so I'll be excused from the board meeting for 15 minutes to hop onto their board meeting to present both ideas. And then they will decide whether or not they're going to approve this request. And then I've also met with the director of care, or past director of CARES, or who's overseeing CARES, to talk about enhancing the website, which he has already implemented some changes. So we're really excited about that, and he's implemented some new changes that we and Lexa advised for them to do on the CARES website. During my office hours, I just met with students, with my designees, answered emails, made phone calls. And some events I'd just like to highlight. I did a lot of class presentations and I actually left some out, which kind of makes me sad, but they're actually my favorite. Love meeting with students, love talking with students about ASI, getting them involved. And it's a great experience to be present with students who are so lost about who we are and seeing them want to get involved. My faculty senate meetings, my office hours, and I think one of my favorite events was the 75th anniversary picture. That one was really fun, and I'll just end with, in October, met with some more students and did some more class presentations. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Natalie? JD?
What were some of the things that CARES updated? I'm curious on that.
Natalie?
Yeah. Yes, so one of the things I noticed on the website that a lot of the information wasn't updated, so all of their resources hasn't been updated from 2020, so that's something that he's working on. The CalFresh application, to keep that continuous, you have to do check-ins every 6 months with the state, and they had no process on that of how to actually do that process, so that's something they're also going to add. And they just enhance like their office hours and making sure that all the information was correct on the CARES website, which hadn't been updated. So he did implement some of those changes and is working on the changes that we also provided him.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, and then for the sake of transparency, Natalie will be leaving, but she is coming back. So she is coming back to this board meeting. Thank you. Now we are going to be moving forward to
sorry. What is that?
Bill Aber, our Associate Vice President of Student Affairs and Dean of Students. We're gonna have to get together and talk. I need to practice, I'm sorry. Bill, go ahead.
I appreciate that. That was much better than what I'm used to.
That's good.
So, it's actually a bear, so I appreciate it. It's good to be here. I look forward to these meetings. This is the largest body of students that I'm around on a regular basis. And I just love the passion and the energy in this room. So you should be applauded for that. But having said that, this is my first board report. I just finished my first month at Sac State. Excited that I've got through a month. So I just wanted to highlight a few things. Obviously not going to read to you. There's a greeting that really talks about learning outside of the classroom and the importance of engagement in those sorts of things, and also, you know, why this work is important to me, and it's the students. And I also talk about how when you hear the term student-centered or student-centeredness, I do not play with those words. It actually is my life's journey based on how my student experience was and what led me to student affairs, which is why I've never deviated from that. And so when you hear me say it in any setting from here forward, it actually means something. It means looking at you as individuals, but having a consistent, or helping shape a consistent experience. I did provide a brief bio, just sort of talking about some of the places that I've been and some of the experiences that I had. For those of you that don't know, I just came from the Chicago area, where I was the Vice President of Student Affairs for a multiple campus institution. Prior to that, I was in Boston. I've lived in 3 capital states now. Madison, Wisconsin, Boston, and here. I was in Boston as the Vice President of Student Affairs, HSI, also a multiple campus institution. Most of my work has been done at the University of Wisconsin at Madison in a variety of roles. And I did step out of higher ed. I was Assistant Vice President for the private college system of Wisconsin. And I did spend 2 years as Senior Grants Manager for Feed the Children International, which was predominantly out of country. So that's just a little bit about my background. But along the way, lots of program development, heavy diversity initiatives, and program creation. So if you get a chance, please read that. I'm very active in community. I'm used to that. So as I get my feet under me here, I will be active in community, but right now it's just not the time to get too involved. I also talk about something that I've been spending time talking to different student organizations about. The role that I play. It's a dual role. It's Associate Vice President, which has a portfolio of these various areas that you'll see, and also in a traditional sense, what the Dean of Students role should be. It should not be what a lot of students, you know, are brought up thinking, where that's where, you know, I did something wrong. We have conduct officer for that. That's part of the office. I'm the opposite. So if you get a chance to read that, there are some meetings in here. I will highlight. I just did a Mic'd Up podcast. And I also spent all day Friday around the governor for that Californians for All event, which was amazing, and then the special invitation. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Bill? I've got so many questions. See.
Thank you. Is there anything you'd like to add on?
There you go. I do want to reference back to the role. So. Direct oversight of these areas: university housing, academic advising, organizations and leadership. I am in the process of drafting a position description for a new associate dean of students position that will have oversight Eric Ramirez's area, the affinity groups. I also supervise Project Rebound, the conduct areas.
30 seconds.
Okay. That's pretty much it. I did not want to list the meetings that I've been attending. I'm learning a lot of acronyms. I'm having trouble with names, and I get lost easily. So it's a big, wonderful experience, and I'm really glad to be here. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Bill. All right, now we're going to move forward to Gina Curry, University CFO designee. Gina, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. I just have a couple of updates that are potentially interesting. I try to stick to the financial side. I leave all the rest of it to a colleague here. So Student Fee Advisory Committee, as mentioned, we have some dates selected where we'll be doing 2 things if we have a fee, a Category 2 fee, and that is a campus mandatory fee that everybody pays with their registration fees. If we have a proposal come forward, we will begin work in the fall. If not, we will only have one meeting, and that will be to select fees for audit, because we do go through the fee inventory and select 3 to 5 fees for audit, so the committee gets involved with that. So we'll be doing that this fall. The reason I put the information out here is because the ASI fee that supports ASI, most of ASI, although there's some revenue generation, is actually a Category 2 fee. So if at any time ASI was in a position they felt it was necessary to do a fee increase or a fee decrease, or to change some sort of criteria around CPI, this is when it would happen. So I always put it out here as a possibility so that the executive board can talk with Sandra and determine if that's something that we want to do, you'd want to do, if we follow this process. The annual financial review town hall is coming up, and it's going to be via Zoom. It's not until October 27th, but this is my last board report before then. And that is available for all students, staff, and faculty to attend. The president will be speaking, the budget office will be speaking, I'll be speaking, going over last year's funding budget and how it was spent on campus, as well as talking about our budget allocation this year from the state. And then we'll have a special presentation on basic needs. So if you're interested, it says 9 to 11 on Thursday, October 27th. Or 9 until finished. It doesn't usually take until 11, but it is scheduled for that period of time. The Zoom link will be available on the campus calendar, and the SACSEN will go out a little closer to the date. And then finally, I explained a little bit about some state budget earmarks where Sacramento State was in benefit. 2 of them, one of them that was actually from last year, in support of Project Rebound. You've all been maybe hearing about the transitional house. The president mentioned it in his opening address this fall. In addition, there was the playground, I'm sorry, not classroom, the playground for ASI. But in addition to that one, it was put together in the budget bill, and it actually is for also an artificial intelligence mixed reality classroom. And so a total of 1.3 in this year's budget. Those are a little tricky in the way that they're funded, so we're working with the system-wide budget office to figure out how to flow the funds to us. They were just recently approved on September 30th, this year's budget.
It's time. Is there any questions for Gina? Rob?
Gina, you have anything else you want to add?
Gina?
Yes, thank you. Because this is statewide money, and because some of this funding is to support activities that fall into the auxiliary, we're having to work with system-wide budget to figure out how we're going to do that. So especially the one that's in benefit of the Child Care Center, I know is of real interest to ASI, and there was a giant check with Assemblymember McCarty. So we want to get that funding here and get it all moving, but just to know that we are on it, and we will work very hard to make sure all of these can be realized in as timely a fashion as possible.
30 seconds.
Thank you. Any other questions for Gina? Okay, now we're going to be moving forward to Sandra, our Executive Director.
Hey folks, so just a couple things that I want to highlight for you all. First of all, I'm in the middle of doing my one-on-one check-ins with everybody, so you should be seeing a 30-minute time with me the next 2-3 weeks to hope just connect and make sure that we're all doing well and that your students first. I also wanted to bring your attention to the link that is up there for the 21-22 goal. Thank you, Natalie, for opening it, just so that you know it's on the website. You click on that first strategic part, that one. So you go through it, and all of my departments have set their goals for the year. So just like you set your goals, all 6 departments of ASI have set their goals and what they're going to be working on. So I always invite folks to jump on and see. And also on that website is the historical. So you can just scroll through quickly, Kelly, just to show that not just you go through the process of setting your goals, but every one of my divisions does this at the beginning of the semester. I'll be doing a mid-year check-in with all of them as well to see, and closing it out at the end of the year. Veli, if you can go back to the page where the website. you can see all of our closed strategic priorities. And I think if you all remember during orientation, I took you to this page, but now it might mean a little bit more now that you've been through the process of creating your own goals for the year. But you can see that our goals for the organization go back to 2015. So you can see what the goals have been for the last couple of years. You can go back to my report. Thank you, Ellie. Quickly, just the Children's Center, the big highlight, as Gina mentioned, we had a press conference and Sherry Belty, our Children's Center director, and Carsalma spoke. It was a really nice event. We're going to be, hopefully, my goal and my dream is to break ground sometime this fiscal year with the money. Of course, it all depends on the finances and on transfers. We had our first PAC meeting and we reported out that we currently have 153 children enrolled with 107 receiving state subsidized care. And currently right now that means free care, which is amazing. We have 16 full-time employees and 89 student employees at the Children's Center. So that's basically a quick snapshot. Peak Adventures is rolling out really successfully. We have 34 trips, a lot of them
30
free.
seconds.
So please make sure to share that out with your constituents. And ASI, just wanted to give you a quick food pantry number. We saw a record 1,923 food pantry visits last month. We're in the process of having conversations with the Sacramento Food Bank, and there will be updates later on about how we need to restructure our relationship to hopefully purchase more of our food from them instead of paying retail prices. But it's post-pandemic, there's a lot of difficulties in the supply chain and such. So more to come on that, and that's my update.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Sandra? Natalie?
I'd like to be recognized by the chair.
Okay, Natalie's going to be stepping out for her meeting and she will be coming back. Go ahead, Natalie. Thank you. Any questions for Sandra? Marisha?
Is there anything that you would like to add?
Sandra?
No, I think I covered everything, the big items for my thing. You can just go see. I always encourage folks to jump on the report every month to see all the meetings that I've been to, but those are the big ones. We're also in the process of finalizing the annual report for last year, which I always love, and I'll bring you all a copy at next month's meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next report, we have Mark, Director of Finance and Administration. Mark, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. Just a couple of items I want to touch upon. One item that we're doing is sending out information to contractors in the area. We're going to be doing some work down in the SEO area for a kitchenette and a mop pantry, which will help the food pantry quite a bit. So just trying to find all the nice licensed contractors out there, but there's a website you can go to, get all the information, see if they've had any claims or anything against them. So there's a lot of good information out there in the STEP website that I'm researching to get the local contractors in the area to come give us a bid. The other one is, one thing I've talked about is our POS system, point of sale system. Perfect Minds, that's our new one that's going to be implemented. We was scheduled for the end of November, but since there's Thanksgiving and everything going on around that time, the committee moved it to the beginning of December. So should be the first week of December, we'll have a new point of sale system up and running, and should be a lot more user-friendly and a lot more user-friendly behind the scenes as well for the staff to run reports and get information out of it. The last one on there is something, this happens around this time of the year, right after our year-end close, is the taxes. So it takes us a while to get that going, but a big part of it is the UBIT, which is the unrelated business income. So we have to find all that income that's unrelated to what we do in our mission, and that portion is taxable, so we have to pull that out. But we have a great staff, and believe it or not, the ones who do a big portion of this is our students. So we train them, the ones that were here last year take the lead on it. New students know what it's like to do 990 taxes, and they actually get some good internships from accounting firms, because once they see the nonprofit taxes, they really pull them aside and put them to good use. So that's a big plus for the folks in our area. And Cher, back to you.
Thank you, Mark. Is there any questions for Mark? Okay, thank you, Mark. Now, we are going to be moving forward to Miguel, our CSA liaison. Yo, when you're ready.
Hi, everyone. So, I'm going to start off real quick talking about the California State Student Association, or the CSSA. The CSSA met virtually over the weekend on Saturday, October 8th to discuss the policy agenda, the legislative cycle review, and some implementation statuses on certain bills that were passed a couple of years ago. I will send out a report later on this week regarding more information about what exactly happened in that meeting. I'm just going to read a bit of my report. CSSA policy agenda sets the outlines for the organization's advocacy work and covers areas such as mental health, sustainability initiatives, student basic needs, and ensuring academic success. Yeah, you can find the agenda and more information when I send out the report. And the next meeting will be at November 5th through the 6th at CSU Fresno. So if any of you guys that haven't attended the meeting virtually this weekend would like to attend, please let me know, let Lisa know, so that we can make some preparations and accommodations for you guys to go. I was also successful in encouraging 8 of our ASI board members to attend the CSSA plenary meeting, so I want to give a round of applause to you guys. Thank you very much for 3 hours of your Saturday to come join us. I hope it was informative, and I hope you learned a lot about system-wide issues involving like the CSUs and the different college campuses. Lobby Corps. Lobby Corps has met twice since, well, I don't have the last report, but we've met twice. At our September 22 meeting, that was our kickoff meeting. Our chair, Sidra Nawaz, was able to give a presentation on like the stances that ASI took on last year's legislation. And there was also students there that were able to give feedback on, give me a second, on these priorities. We also had Nathan Dietrich, the Associate Vice President in the Division of Public Affairs and Advocacy here at Sac State, who was able to give a brief presentation at the Lobby Corps meeting. He did a great job outlining what the university advocated on its past, where the bills Sac State supported currently are, and how to best go about the advocacy work at a state and federal level.
30 seconds.
For our next meeting was held last Thursday, October 6th. The chair gave an informative presentation on how the legislative process works, and we basically briefly went over some ASI strategic priorities. We also discussed further on student points of interest and what students would like to advocate for. And in terms of OGA, I've been working with my staff.
Hey, is there any questions for Miguel? See?
Would you like to add on anything else?
I'll make it brief.
Miguel?
Thank you, Laura. So I've been working with my OGA department. We've been collaborating on turning in the civic challenges through our combined efforts. I was also able to schedule a brief meeting with our ASI Vice President of University Affairs, Lexa, to get a rundown on certain system-wide issues that are currently present at Sac State, and if there were any other issues that we could potentially present to the CSSA. And I've also been keeping up with the civic challenges throughout the month.
30 seconds.
We have currently 365 points, and I'm currently collaborating with East Bay and to check in every so often to see where we're at as a team for our civic challenges. And that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Is there any other questions for Miguel? Okay, seeing none, we are going to move forward to our announcements. Is there any announcements? Lexa?
I would like to quickly announce that Kayla emailed me letting me know that the grocery pop-up tabling was canceled for November 21st. We're still able to table because the space is reserved, so I'll be checking in with the board members to see who's up to the challenge. And then as well, we'll be having an event. It will be happening tomorrow from 12 to 3 p.m. and on October 27th from 11 to 2 p.m. in honor of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So the Wellness, Safety, and Sexual Assault Awareness Committee will be tabling at that event to show support, and I will also be tabling there along with other board members on October 27th. So if you are available, stop by, write a message, because we need to show students that we stand with them and that, that we're conscious of this happening, and that they're not alone.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Mr. Bishop?
I just want to announce, and I am going to keep announcing until the due date, that ASI scholarships are open. Please apply. Please send it to your deans. Please send it to the listservs. Please send it to your friends. Send it to your roommates, who even if you don't like to talk to, please send it to them. We would love to get an application and see if they are eligible and grade them. Strategic priority funds as of right now, I think we're standing on about $6,575 approximately. I just did the calculations. Also, a few college directors haven't reached out to me about their joint council funds. If you want to plan an event at this point, you need to be quick so you can reserve the space with Lisa. You know who you are. Please reach out to me, send me a budget. If you need help, please come to my office. Please email me. I'm really fast at responding. I can help you. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. And then just as a reminder, that joint council kickoff event, you're supposed to do it this semester. Okay, that is per op rules. Is there any other announcements? Chris?
I just want to announce to the board, I announced it last week as well, we are having our food committee meeting this Friday, October 14th. We would love for a lot of you guys to come out just to come in and take a look to see what's going on, because our food issues at our dining commons on campus have been getting worse. And while we did build a survey we are going to send out to our students, it is something that we would love to have more officials on campus come out to. And I will be emailing a lot more of you about it in the coming weeks, because it is becoming an issue with communication among them, among many other things. But yeah, so please come out. It's from 2 to 3 in the Eldenberry room in front of Riverview. So it's the really big building on the right when you first walk down the aisle. And yeah, if you have any questions, I'll be here after the meeting.
Thank you. Sachi?
I'm more than happy to announce that the kickoff event for undergrad students, Pick Your Pumpkin, Pick Your College, will be taking place on 24th of October from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Library Quad, and where students can pick their pumpkin and customize it by painting it. And I would encourage the college directors to attend it, since students could be from any department, so you will get a chance to talk to them. And I'm looking for the volunteers and helpers, since I'm not doing with any joint councils, so your help will be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Rob?
In partnership with University Communications, Inclusive Excellence has a podcast called Beyond J, and the next episode is dropping this week. If you have time, it's about 18 minutes long, and it focuses on the program Project Rebound and how it's impacted one particular student from going from illiterate to a master's degree all through Sac State. I think it's incredibly inspiring, so I hope that you all get a chance to listen. You can find it on the Beyond J website. Additionally, please keep high awareness to your emails. A SAC send regarding an important update to the AICP symposium will drop before the close of business on Friday. I want to make sure everyone is aware. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Errol?
I just had a quick question for Chris. When I apologize if you already mentioned this, but when is the food dining coming?
Chris?
It's this Friday, and it is from 2 to 3 o'clock in Elton and River. It's the Eldenberry room. It's the really big classroom. We'll have signs up for it.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Gina?
These are both a little bit early, but I'll be missing the board meeting next week, so I wanted to announce them now. On Saturday the 22nd, the football game that will be home will be actually televised on ESPN. So a show out would be awesome. They are currently sitting 5-0, which hasn't happened since they've become a Division I football team. So if you could show out, that'd be great. It is a later start date. It's a start time. The game starts at 8. So it's a late game because of the ESPN timeline. But again, encourage students to show out. It'd be awesome to be on ESPN showing our support. The other thing I wanted to announce is the How to Win at Life game is going to be made available again. It is a financial literacy event, actually. It's a game, but it's an event that will be in, I believe it's in the Redwood Room, and I will confirm and make sure I get this information out to the board. But it should be pretty widely advertised. It's coming out of the Financial Wellness Department area. And it's a really awesome event. It's really fun. You play it like the game of life. It only takes about 15 or 20 minutes. There's usually some sort of incentive at the end. But you get to walk through the process of getting a job, paying taxes, choosing housing, transportation, paying your student loan, and figuring out if you have enough money to do all that. And spin the wheel and see if anything good or bad maybe happens to you financially, and whether or not you have won at life. So it's a great exercise. It's a great eye-opener for financial literacy, post-collegiate financial literacy. So please come out and check it out. Please encourage your friends to check it out as well. It's going to be on Tuesday, October 25th, and I believe it's from 11 to 2. And again, it's just a stop-in kind of thing. It doesn't take very long to walk through it and experience it. So it's fun to do as a group to bring some friends along and go through it together. I will share more information as I have it.
Thank you. Chris?
Sorry, I wanted to make an edit about that time. Oh, sorry.
Chris.
Point of order.
I'm so sorry. Yes, go ahead. Chris is leaving also. He let me know about this, just sake of transparency. Chris RJ.
Sorry, I wanted to edit that time I told you. It's actually 2:30 to 3:30. Same room, same place, just wrong time. So that's 2:30 to 3:30.
Thank you. Any other announcements for myself, and then Salma closes it out? Miguel?
Our next lobby board meeting will be on October 20th, where we'll have guest speaker Mary Washington, Assistant Director of Government Relations, be there, so make sure you attend it. I will also be giving a brief presentation on the CSSA overview and what their strategic priorities are at that meeting as well. So if you would like to attend it, I highly encourage you to do so. We always need one more board member for lobby board and city ambassadors. Just figured I would keep announcing this because we are short on one more member. So please, if you have an interest in lobbying or citywide issues, please attend either of these committees. And city ambassadors meeting will be held tomorrow at the Capitol Room at 4 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Lexa?
As mentioned earlier, the Wellness, Safety, and Sexual Assault Awareness Committee is planning an event. We're thinking of doing it right before finals. We want to do speed venting, as a way to make sure that students, release some stress. So I am looking to use one of strategic priorities, which is foster healthy communities. So I'll be contacting some of the board members to see if they would like to also help plan this event. I think it's a really great idea, and I know that Weave is looking to also be there and show their support. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other announcements for mine, and then Sal will close it out? Okay, so strategic priorities. One of the things that I am going to invite you to do, since I know everybody's schedule is very busy, is to do it after board. We have this room until 5 o'clock. So use that time. Obviously, if there is some strategic priorities that are not getting worked on or that you guys are finding trouble, just an idea. This is the place to do it. So just putting it out there. I suggested some of my people because that's just, our schedules are crazy. I understand, and you guys are students on top of that. I want to also talk about, again, for a very last time, no electronics, absolutely, unless it's Lisa or if it's Tammy or Vicky here. Okay, that's like no exception. This is not for me. This is a rule. If it were up to me, you all can have your phones out, but you can't. You cannot have your phones. You cannot have iPads. Just any sort of electronic device. You cannot have it. Okay, not for board report, not for looking at legislation or any. You cannot have it. Tabling. I sent out an email again reiterating what Lexa has been saying the past board meetings. I asked some of you guys to reply. Not everybody has. So I'm going to ask you again to please do that. Reply to me on what you are tabling. If you have, what events. If you're doing something that's not on that sign-up link, let me know. I need to know this stuff because we all need to row the boat here, okay? We're a board, we're a team. We need to contribute to this, okay? With that being said, calendar invites. If you guys are sent a calendar invite, it is your responsibility to respond yes or no. No tentative. Tentative if you want to placeholder for the next 2 hours to figure out where you are, but yes or no, okay? And if you say yes, you have to go, okay? Unless, say, oh, I forgot this, or you have a meeting, just change your RSVP. You can do that, but just please reply to your emails and especially to your calendar invites. As Salma always says, and I'm sure she's gonna say, we're students first. It's midterm season, and then soon it's gonna be final season. Okay, you guys all need to keep your grades up. Okay, we need to make sure that you guys are attending to the classroom, that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, not only as a board member, but also as a student. Because if you fail there, you're unfortunately going to fail here, and you're just not going to be part of this board anymore. Just transparency. We need to be students. Okay, just please stay on top of your stuff. And then you might have noticed again the 2 board members that left. This was communicated to me, so that is. Again, I'm just going to say this just in case anybody at all is thinking, this is not a welcome for you to literally book anything around this time. These board members communicated with me and we went back and forth a little bit because that's just, it's not acceptable, but this was with plenty of notice. And they didn't, out of all the times, they didn't just schedule in this time. So that is not an open door for anybody to schedule anything during this time. This is just, and I don't even want to call it a special circumstance, but this was communicated throughout a period of days almost, okay? That is all I have, I think. Yes, that is all I have. Done.
Do y'all want to hear the good news or the bad news first? When we are invited by campus partners to absolutely anything, if it is on your calendar and you do not show up, if it was up to me, you would all get strikes. It is completely unacceptable that campus partners include students, especially us, into things and you do not show up. I show up to almost everything that I can and I'm exhausted, I'm running myself thin. I should not be the only one. I'm asking for your help. I'm asking you all to show up. I'm looking at my board of directors. If you did not attend the VP IRT because you needed more information, you click the calendar invite and you see all of the information that was provided to you. So it's not an excuse anymore and I'm not tolerating it anymore. I cannot be the only one showing up. Shout out to Ted, shout out to Adderall. Thank you for showing up and supporting me by going to this. That's only 2, we're a board of 14. That was really, really hard for me. I cannot be the only one. It cannot just be us 3 representing the board. We get invited, we should show up. Talking about showing up, thank you to everyone who showed up to CSSA. I got so many messages about, wow, Sac State showed up. There were so many of you. I really appreciate that. That's the kind of feedback I want everything that we're invited to. We show up, we show them who Sacramento State is, we represent our students here. And we know how exceptional our students are here, so now we have to show everyone else how exceptional we are. I will be doing some check-ins with every single one of you, so if I cannot attend your office hours, you will receive an email from me finding a time outside of your office hours. I think that was, strategic priorities are a team effort. It sounds great when we complete them, but if only one person's completing them, then I don't think that was complete. Every single one of you need to pull your own weight. Every single one of you need to contribute like the team I know we are. Everyone in this room is exceptional. I am extremely proud of all of your accomplishments. So now let's do it as a team. We're all here to support each other, but now we have to do that and show everyone that we can be a team and that we can do it. So I'm really, really calling upon every single one of you, because you can't see me as I talk this way, but really, I know how exceptional each and every one of you are, so please, 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 please work as a team and work together. It's midterms. Please take care of yourself. I'm drowning. I'm gonna be honest with everyone. It's super stressful. I'm taking 15 units, as many of you are as well. It's a lot. Remember to drink your water, eat your meals, sleep. Remember, sleep is the one way that we can recuperate. So please get those 8 hours of sleep, and if you need help, please ask for it. Because if I show up to your office hours and I'm like, you didn't show up to this, but that's because you didn't articulate that you just couldn't that day, then I'm gonna assume the worst. So please, if you articulate your needs to me or to Laura or to anybody else, then we know how to support you. But if you don't, then we just assume you're just not doing your job. So you have to help us out as well. And with that, thank you all who have been doing your job. Thank you to all of those people who are going to class and are doing your homework and showing everybody at Sacramento State what it means to be a student leader here. So thank you.
Okay, great. Anything else anybody wants to plug in, Gina?
I'm sorry, that announcement really reminded me of something, the meet and greet last week. I think went really well. We didn't have as many administrators as I hoped, or have we had in the past, maybe just a scheduling thing. But for those that were there afterwards, I received several comments about how impressed they were with the board, the conversations they had with you, even just your introductions, how professional and well you represented yourself. And so I wanted to thank you and congratulate you for a great event. I think we've said it many, many times before that you have a unique opportunity to engage with administrators on this campus, and they listen to you and they want to get to know you and they want to hear your concerns and they want to hear your comments. And so that is step one, is getting to know them and build those relationships. They potentially can help you meet your strategic priorities. So thank you for taking the time. I mean, I know it was our board time, you didn't have much choice, but for taking the time and engaging with the administration, they were quite impressed.
Thank you. I think everybody learned like a new thing during those, my name is so-and-so and I did, we're like very musically inclined and I really did not know that. Okay, anybody else have anything else they want to plug in? Here you go.
I just want to add a comment. Please support your president. She's doing so much to make the board work and to address everything. It's not a ASI of 1 or 2 or 3. It's an ASI of all of you guys. So everything is a team effort, and communication is very important. So if there is a meeting that you absolutely cannot attend, just let her know. It's not that hard, and just be there for your president as she's always there for us. So that's just what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, over communicate and please don't assume. I told you all at retreat, don't assume, and that goes for literally everybody. Just don't assume. Okay, we are going to close it out. I'm adjourning this meeting at 3:28.